Okay. So, the last two videos I did, I talked about some stuff that I think I need to expand upon. The reason why I'm so opposed to psychiatric medication is because it doesn't work. Okay? It doesn't work. If it gives off the impression that it's working, it's because you're getting addicted to it. Okay? Now, my friend who just got on lexapro, and I've been on lexapro myself, okay? So she said that she feels really weird, and she feels dead inside, okay? My friend Judson, he said that he took, I think it was Zoloft, also been on that too. He said that he just felt like shit, and he's like, there's something demonic about that crap. And, you know, if you're crazy, which means aware of how shitty the world is, okay? If you're crazy, then that means that you're probably gonna notice how bad that stuff is immediately, okay? And you're not gonna wanna be on it. You're gonna feel weird, you're gonna be on edge. Now, I know for a fact that that medication made me wanna kill myself, okay? And I already wanted to kill myself, but it made me wanted to kill myself even more. And so, I stopped taking my medication and I smoked as much pot as I could get my hands on. Now, I understand that marijuana is a very slippery slope, especially now, because of how strong the strains are. And so, there are ways around this, okay? Now, I'm not suggesting, do not put those words in my mouth, okay? Do not be a woman. I'm not suggesting that anybody just start smoking weed, okay? But if you wanted to, I would highly recommend a very, very low dose of THC, okay? And there are ways that you can figure these things out, okay? If you go to a dispensary, and they are everywhere now, if you go to a dispensary, first of all, if you go to a dispensary, they don't know what they're talking about, leave that dispensary. And you let them know that they should not be working there, okay? There are several strains of marijuana that are nowhere near as potent as most of the strains of marijuana these days, okay? You just have to search and seek. It's very possible, or what I like to call POTsibble, get it? It's pot, all right? But yeah, it's very POTsibble that you can find what you need. Now, a lot of people will get on to me and say, Amy, why are you suggesting that people continue to do drugs? If you're saying the drugs are the problem, why are you saying the drugs are the solution? Because some people need to level out. Some people have to have something to help them understand what their experience is, okay? I really do believe in my hardest of hearts that marijuana was put on this planet to do that very thing, to help us understand. Not only understand ourselves, but understand the world that we live in, and help us to stop trusting authority figures like the government, okay? Why do you think the government kept it illegal for so long? Now that they can control it, now that they've spiked the motherfucker out of the plant, now they're selling it at street corners. You get it? Okay, moving on. So, antidepressants have really, really, really bad side effects. And one of the worst side effects of them is something called akathisia, I think is how you pronounce it, where you feel like your body is constantly moving, but you're remaining still, but you can't. You can't sit still, you can't stand still. Now, I've always had this problem myself. So if I experienced that on an antidepressant, I probably didn't even notice it because it's something that's so natural to me anyway. But The reason why I think it's way better to be on medication that you choose to be on is because you're making a personal decision, you're making an informed decision. Okay, the people that prescribe these medications and the people that suggest these medications typically don't know shit about them. Hence, Jordan Peterson getting addicted to them. Okay? I hate this fucking world so much. Anyway. If they didn't believe Jordan, do you really think they're going to believe some minion? Do you think they're going to believe a million minions that have horrible side effects? Or the 22 veterans a day that commit suicide on these medications? Or Nicholas Cruz, the shooter in Parkland, Florida, that was on a plethora of medication? Okay, so all these antidepressants that they have people on that are doing nothing but encouraging more violence. And if people aren't violent, then they're just going to be fucking zombies. So there's really no desirable alternative. I don't think that sobriety is necessarily the solution. Because for a lot of people, like especially people that have been through a lot of trauma as a child, it would probably do them some good to have an alternative perspective, and marijuana can help provide that. But plants are put on this planet to be somewhat of a stepping stone, to help guide us, to help us understand the things that we've been through, okay? The problem is they're very, very addictive, and it's really difficult to have these conversations with plebeian sheep, okay? And I stress over and over again that if you're going through something, do not talk to normal-ass people about it, okay? They're not going to understand, and they're going to try to hook you up with a psychiatrist. Because God forbid we cry about stuff that makes us sad. God forbid we express our humanity in any kind of way. Because there's nothing more uncomfortable than being a fucking human being. So anyway, you can tell that I probably should get high again. I've just been so angry. People that don't understand that, I think that they don't understand mental illness. They don't understand just the overemphasis of certain emotions. So a lot of the time, you know, people take medication, people take psychiatric drugs to level out, okay? Well, I think that marijuana helps people do that too, but the problem is it's habitual. And so anything that's habit forming is addictive. And nobody wants to talk about that. So, I mean, definitely not the people that use marijuana all the time. But that being said, I still think it's better than being on a fucking Lexapro or Zoloft or Prozac. Because you probably won't shoot up a school, you know? Now, that's not to say that it won't make you crazy. I mean, a lot of these people, if they take the wrong strain and they get really paranoid, there's no telling what they'll do. So, you know, that's why I'm not suggesting anything. What I'm suggesting, more than anything else, is to do your research, okay? Do your research and do alternative research. That means if you really want to understand certain things, look beyond the mainstream articles, okay? Psychology Today is not a reliable source. Because Psychology Today is promoting medication. Follow the money, follow the intentions.